Alright, you sexy motherfuckers. My name is Carter, and welcome to SCS. If you don't know what SCS is, you should figure it out by looking at the title.
Dude, you're fucking drunk. I knew it.
No, I'm not.
I thought it was the alcohol, but I guess it's just you.
Yeah, it's just me, man. I was telling you guys, that's just me. That's who I am. Anyway, we got two very fabulous guests here today.
Guests.
Hosts. Yeah, next episode it's only gonna be me. Just a heads up.
Yeah, well, he is the host. He could declare himself the only returning guest if he wanted to.
Yeah, I can make my own episode and then be like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, that is totally within his right.
Yeah. Anyway, how about say your name, but also tell me what your favorite color is and why it is your favorite color.
Okay. I guess I'll go first. I'm Vinc. I like pink.
But why do you like pink?
I don't know, it's just a very brutish color. You don't really see it unless it's being used in a recreational sense, I guess.
Okay, so I'm Nanobot. I like blue because it's good.
Alright, anyway, usually we start our episodes with 10 minutes of flavor. However, I want to start this off differently. Bad news, I don't have a topic for the podcast. Good news, I have multiple topics. So, I have this hat.
Okay.
There are a total of 3 things in there. I want you guys to each pick one. They're very, very subtle. So, you're going to read it and you're not going to know what the topic is, but it's going to be in relation to, what it would be about. So...
Okay, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
So when you said things, you meant slips of paper?
Slips of paper.
Because I don't want to, reach in and find something I don't want to touch.
Yeah, like a spider.
Yeah, there's a dead spider in there, there's a pencil, and also there's like a jizz napkin in there. Nate, what'd you get?
Person,
okay, what'd you get?
Carter.
Alright. Now then, which one do you want to choose?
So you think a prompt with the word Carter or with the word person in it is better? I'm firmly in Team Carter.
Alright, yeah, let's go with Carter.
Carter. Alright, we're gonna go with Carter then. With that being said, what have you guys been doing for the past week?
Something's afoot, something's amiss.
What? I said I would introduce a topic, and then you guys can talk for 10 minutes, and then I'll be like, okay, this is what it means.
You know what? Okay, fair enough. My day has been fucking ass. It's been an ass day. Now, how ass it was is entirely hinged upon whether there was an episode last week or not, because my sorry ass accidentally kind of deleted it. I'm kind of almost got it back, but not quite. Okay, so I used the recovery software to look through my discarded files. I found the files. They were fucking 200 bytes, which is a bit small for an hour-long podcast, I think. Mm-hmm. So those weren't it. And I was like, man, it would have been great. I wouldn't have been in this predicament in the first place if it weren't for the fact that, I'm constantly running low on space on my hard drive. I'm installing it when I finish them. Why do I have no space? And I'm like, man, it just gets in the way of making videos, because that's a very space-inefficient hobby. I use this recovery software, and I just look up anything that has, SCS, which is the calling card for those recordings. And I find out that there are, in fact, dozens of files marked with SCS that I didn't even know existed. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I go trace that path and find out that Adobe Premiere has this really cool feature where if ever you put in a file, it makes a preview file of it. So essentially, instead of playing a 1 gigabyte video file, it plays a 250 megabyte one to increase processing speed and whatnot. At a lower quality and everything.
Okay.
But the cache doesn't clear automatically. So there's a cache of 300 gigabytes of videos that I've been done with for fucking years on there. And among those happens to be the file from the project of last episode. And I was like, oh shit, that's fucking great news. It was a CMI file or some whatever John Hancock for Adobe files that are audio. Mm-hmm. And Adobe doesn't open those if you ask it to, because fuck me, right?
Yeah.
So looking through forums, I found out you can change those to a different type of file, open those with a proprietary Adobe software, and then maybe it'll sound good. So I'm going to pull up now what I was working with for most of the afternoon.
It's alright with you viewers, yeah.
No,
you guys can see it.
It's an audio file, dingus. Hang on. Why will this not open? There we go. Okay, so it's a proprietary file. So I didn't really save with the correct info, so you gotta put in the correct sample rate and everything, and I just kind of guessed, and it was obviously not right when I did it. I'll just put in random numbers for this. So I was trying things, and if you look at this waveform, it's a big green brick, which is not what a waveform should look like. And if I play it for you...
sounds like some like shit you get from watching a creepypasta or something.
Yeah,
like that.
there's like demonic screaming.
Yeah, that's the thing though. If you listen real close, you'll notice that each time there's like a demonic moan, it plays twice.
That's interesting.
And so that made me think that, hey, maybe the audio isn't completely fucked because patterns are coming out. And so I kept playing with files, checking forms. Uploading it in this sense made it a 6-hour-long audio file. Thought that was worth noting.
Christ.
But eventually, I found the right codec by checking like Audacity's default outputs, and now it sounds like this. Oh, wait, it's opening with the wrong...
Oh, damn it.
Oh my god, hang on. I can cut this out, trust me. It's
This is
really...
embarrassing.
Shut up. Shut up, person.
Because of Big Nate, doing it because of Big Nate.
Yeah. 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 Definitely.
I did too.
Definitely.
I did too.
You know, honestly, I'm listening to this and I might change the topic into making a music rap video.
So
That sounds really good.
So now we have a 2-hour-long audio file, which has every second or second and a half like repeats for some reason. And my thought for that is because this was a preview file, right? My thinking is that the way it does it is it's like second by second sampling in Premiere. So basically, like 1 second is the left ear audio and one's the right, making stereo. And it just kind of like plays them on top of each other. But because it's mono audio, they sound the same.
Got it.
So the question I have to ask myself is, do I want to cut every hour at every other second for an entire 2 hours out of an audio file by hand?
Ugh. You can't like run a program and you're just like,
I've been looking for one, but I think if it's a little off, it'll fuck everything up if I try to do it automatically. And also, you know, you look at those forms, it's like, how do I do that? And then it'll be a bot response like, just hit the delete key on the section you want to get rid of. And it's like, wow, awesome.
cool, thanks.
So that's how my day has been. So now I have to really dig deep and ask myself because I'm really happy with that episode too. It was a really fucking good one. So is it worth it?
That's up to you.
Because it'll bother me forever if I don't, is the thing. Like, my mind does not put stuff away like that. It'll bother me until the day I die, unless I try.
I mean, that's up to you. I don't know.
So that's what my life may look like for the next bit.
That 6 hours screeching was terrifying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus. Also, really interesting tirade. Like, that was, I really appreciated that insight into your fucked day. But Carter's been scheming the whole time and I'm afraid of him.
Okay, I do have one thing I want to add though. There might be a shortcut. Using command prompt, you can force a file to be unwritable, so it cannot be messed with basically. So what I'm thinking is, because that preview file for that audio track is still there, and it made that based off of the original audio track, if I can make that immutable and then put burner audio in the timeline on adding software, it'll still play the preview audio if it doesn't overwrite itself, right? So I can edit it like normal, and then after I've got this hour cut down, I go to the front of the timeline of OpenOBS, hit record, hit play, and then go get a sandwich. And then just let that run for an hour.
That sounds a lot better.
There's no guarantee I can do that though.
Well.
But it's an option. I've talked for 10 minutes. Small talk from you.
In a previous episode, I talked about my piss dream. And so
Oh man, you're pissed.
Very tonally shifted.
I don't think I mentioned this to you two on the podcast specifically, but I definitely did. I have a few distinct varieties of nightmares. So I mentioned to these two before that I have a lot of dreams about getting lost at school and my teeth falling out.
Little fucking hog.
I do have a third variety of nightmare, and it's bathroom shenanigans. But it's always a very specific type of bathroom shenanigans. So imagine you're in the bathroom, shockingly.
Wow, really?
And there's too many stalls. The max amount of stalls you would could reasonably expect would be 8?
Sure.
Maybe a couple urinals as well for the boys. But yeah, that's a reasonable size. So crank that number up to maybe a good 20 or 30. And then you've got the shit that I dream about. I'm not really particularly a germaphobe, but I don't like touching poop.
That's a pretty universal experience, I think.
Imagine that you gotta go, but there's just shit everywhere. Every stall you open, there's poopy in there. And when you don't think there's poopy, you go to touch something, and then suddenly it's covered in poopy. I go into a stall that looks clean, there's just a square of toilet paper, lift the square, and there's a big steaming poopy under it. Horrible. Rarely do I wake up with more adrenaline coursing through me than in these dreams, and I genuinely mean that. It is fucking disgusting.
Dude,
So
I feel really sorry for you.
I'm not gonna pretend like my day has been that special in either direction, bad or good, but my night was pretty rough.
Overflowing with shit.
It's fucking disgusting.
I mean, I guess I understand that.
Like, I couldn't even wash my hands, because, like,
It's so, the sink's overflowing with shit. I couldn't.
it's like, because you're in the dream world, it's all, like, imagination projecting, so it's like, when you're thinking about shit, everything is gonna look like shit.
You just turn on the faucet and there's just diarrhea coming out.
That was my favorite part of Inception when I went to the bathroom dream.
Yeah.
That's fucking awful.
There were toilets coming out of the walls.
Now we're gonna talk about the actual podcast,
Which is you.
it's me. When you guys think of me, what comes to mind?
Thighs.
Okay,
Facial hair.
facial hair. How about less physical?
I'm not just a pair of tits, okay?
You guys are hurting my feelings. man.
Your big, throbbing, girthy personality. There's some of your isms come to mind, I guess. Like we talk a lot about the when you're like affirming a point that you know is stupid, and you're like, ooh, and you like rock back and forth like an insane person.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a psychology major. I'm also majoring in religious studies, and I am the one who's often referred to as drunk. So here's the thing. We're going to talk about drugs today.
Okay.
Aiden, you are very against drugs in every single way, shape, and form.
Well, hang on. I don't like it for my own purposes. You do what you want.
But anyway, Nate, you're kind of okay with them. You're okay with drinking and all that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you guys a list of drugs until time runs out, or whenever the fuck. I was going to say 5, but I'm not sure when we're going to talk. How long we're going to talk about.
5 what?
5 drugs. Aiden is gonna be against, and Nate is gonna be for.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys are gonna give me your arguments. It's not gonna be based on content. It's gonna be based on just like how I feel about it.
Okay.
Because I know that not a lot of you guys have a lot of like research and information.
Okay.
Here's the first one. I'm gonna be talking about cocaine.
Cocaine.
Cocaine. It's a very interesting drug.
Okay. Who kicks off?
Seeing how cocaine has a more negative connotation in America, how about you, Aiden?
Okay, well, my extensive knowledge about drugs is fairly limited, save for like rock and roll stories and whatnot.
I mean, you can go
The
into
one
those
that,
as
the one that
too.
comes to mind, Eric Clapton's song called Cocaine, which is about how horrible cocaine is, and it has since become the cocaine anthem. So, gives you some insight into the way those brains work. But yeah, like, bathroom is where you do your snooters, and, in public restrooms and stuff, that's very inconvenient for like, restaurant staff and stuff. Also, I know that, like, drug policy, I guess this is more global than just specifically for cocaine, but, like, drug policy on, like, this university campus, for example, is they don't punish by the individual, they punish by the room. So, like, let's just say your roommate was a coke addict and you had no idea, which, unlikely. You'd get expelled, too, because there's cocaine in your room. So, like, it's a bigger effect than just you, and especially with that one because it's an upper. It makes you manic, and it's
a stimulant.
And also, it was taken out of Coca-Cola for a fucking reason. People are now coming down on caffeine for the same stuff, even though it's nowhere near as bad. So that's the extent of my knowledge about cocaine.
All right, cool. Nate, what can you tell me about it? That's good.
Yeah, tell me why snooters are good.
Okay, so for context, we just got back from a pizza place.
There's Coke everywhere.
And
Just coke everywhere. It's all over.
I did tell these two that I like my pizza fluffy. And what drug is lighter and fluffier than a line of Cokey Wokey? Like, dude, you powder, man. Like, you can fucking... Dude, that's as fluffy as it gets right there.
Dude, you can make, like, shapes in that powder. You can make a smiley face if you want.
It really bolsters one's creativity. What's better than just getting to go piggy wiggy mode in such an adult scenario? Just... And then you're good to go. Really takes me back to my youth. Not me specifically, but it takes the user back to their youth. I'm telling you, man, it's cool. And dude, like,
drugs are cool.
You know the song Gucci Gang, the part where it's like,
You think I listen to that music?
doing cocaine. That shit goes hard.
You know that part in Gucci Gang where they talk about cocaine and say the word cocaine?
Yeah.
God damn that part.
Yeah, he's like doing cocaine, and it's fucking awesome.
So I guess it comes down to Gucci Gang or Eric Clapton. That
Let's
should not be a hard choice.
let's hear it, man.
I don't like Gucci Gang. It gets to the point, I guess.
Ooh, yeah, baby. Yeah, you were fighting an uphill battle on that one.
Yeah.
Assuming like weed comes around, that'll be a bit harder for me.
Let's pick a better drug. Let's pick caffeine.
Ooh, that's gonna. So I think
Caffeine.
caffeine's bad.
You think caffeine is bad. Nate thinks caffeine is good. Aiden, go.
Okay, well, caffeine is about as ubiquitous as drugs can get at this point. Like, even more so than, like, cigarettes and vapes and stuff. Like, caffeine is in everything. I mean, even just beyond, like, soda and stuff, they're putting it in food. There was a bust for, like, it going in ground beef and stuff. Because it's so addictive that, like, even if it's in tiny amounts, you taste it and gives you the sense of, I feel great when I eat this, and I don't know why. That just always rubbed me the wrong way. And I don't get so wired when I have, like, A&W as opposed to other sodas, because A&W is not caffeinated.
Yep.
It's like the arbiter of extremely like wiring foods versus I guess regular ones.
Okay.
It's also like an additive, and you know, like regardless of things are deemed food safe or not, like at a certain point you gotta wonder.
I guess so, yeah.
'Cause, like-
Fucking Panera.
Yeah, because that's the big one is Panera's got their like super lemonade right now, which is intentionally, you know, labeled very subtly alongside their regular lemonade, which has like, you know, just under the legal limit of caffeine per like milliliter in it. People are getting addicted and not knowing why because they weren't really promoting it. All of a sudden their lemonade was like 500 times more addictive, and it was causing a huge ruckus. And of course, no one's going to regulate that shit because it's technically legal, but that's one of the ones that worries me, I guess. It's not so much like that it's the worst one in terms of effects, it's just its ubiquity. Kind of like the steroids argument in sports, where like steroids are not allowed because if they were, you would have to get used in order to stand a chance against the best people would be on steroids.
Sure,
In order to have
yeah.
a chance, you would have to be on them. And, you know, by banning them, it means that you don't have to, like, take drugs. In the same way, it's like, soda has to have caffeine because the caffeine will make you feel better when you drink them.
Okay,
And I see a very similar thing in other foods now, too.
All right. Nate.
So human ingenuity is one hell of a drug in and of itself, and we are constantly finding new ways to augment what we already have. Many of the things around us as we record this would be deemed unnatural. We didn't evolve shoes, we made that shit. If you banned shoes, people would riot. Likewise, caffeine is everywhere, as Aiden put it.
Yeah, okay.
If you ban caffeine, productivity is gonna go down a lot.
That is true, yeah. We're so heavily reliant that if we do take it away, everybody's fucked.
Exactly.
The prohibition didn't fucking work.
Yeah.
we may just be at a point where we have to accept caffeine as part of society.
I'll admit it, I'm addicted to caffeine. I love caffeine. If I don't have it, then I'm gonna
Oh yeah, dude.
crash.
I'm always numbing on that.
I snort the caffeine. It's good. Just
Yeah.
put it on the table. It's like
Just
fucking
take
cocaine.
it directly to the bloodstream, just an IV drip of powder.
Like perhaps long term, it's not the best. But we've kind of backed ourselves into a corner. Yeah, I think that's basically my point.
Okay.
I think that's kind of it.
Yeah, that's pretty damning.
Well, anyway, seeing how Nate just discredited your entire argument, I guess Nate got the win.
Yeah, there wasn't much I could do about that.
I guess because of this, I will switch it around. Nate will go first. Aiden will go second. Let's go with some hallucinogenics.
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 Got a specific or just hallucinogens?
A broad term. You can pick a specific one. You can
Like-
pick like shrooms or LSD or like peyote, cactus, which is like, I'm very familiar with that because of religious studies and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, Nate, go.
So you asked us at the start of this episode what our favorite colors are.
You see.
Blue naturally occurs in nature plenty. Pink not as much. What if you wanted to see pink all the time? I've got just the thing for you. Just like fucking just get that fucking shroom up in there, pinky winky all over the place. Look at all these drab colors around it. This table is like a sickly yellow. But what if it was pink? And what if I don't have the money to buy paint, but I guess I do to buy hallucinogens? Not the point. What if it was pink?
Alright.
That would be sick as hell.
Alright, I got a counter argument for you.
Okay, go.
Well, that's my job.
What if you just can't choose that it's pink? I mean,
Then you're fucking bad at. You need more practice.
You're bad at drugs.
you're bad at God.
And you're a fucking virgin. That's what.
That's an issue, not an ish me.
Yeah, the thing is that like if you take it once, it's not controllable at all. Like it's just from the back of your unconscious mind or whatever spurs up. Yeah. Anyway, Aiden,
Okay, so I think hallucinogens are bad.
you think it's a bad thing?
I think that's pretty solid right there.
Okay, so I will admit that there are prospects about hallucinogens that seem good in a medicinal sense. But we are very much not there yet. We haven't figured out how to get those doses to work. People fucking go on benders, dude. Like when I was in China, I went to China for a week. I was assigned, he was a druggie, and he had all these crazy stories, and none were as fucking horrifying as his LSD story, where he talked about how, I think it was the same night he tried heroin. You shouldn't mix those.
Yeah. The thing is that, you shouldn't mix drugs.
I think what he described, maybe it was point was there was like a needle, you know how you get a shot and there's like a little tiny scab where it is? LSD happened and spiders crawled out of it. And that sounds horrifying. Also, there's like problems with, a big thing with like Woodstock is post-Woodstock shock, isn't it called?
I believe so, yeah.
Where like a lot of hallucinogens deposit in your body in places and lay dormant there. Like, for example, in your spinal column. And there's stories of people like who were at Woodstock in 1969, who took LSD because that was like just everywhere. There was somebody who was like at a Thanksgiving party, they were like stretching, they cracked their back, LSD got loose. And they had a trip in like the middle of the 90s that was totally unrelated. If you decide that you don't like it, that's too fucking bad because you might have to do it again at some point.
Ugh.
Also, like, just, you don't know what you'll see. Like, you might see your mom naked. You don't want that. You don't fucking want that.
Dude, this is Freud approved. Freud approved drug, LSD.
Oh, shit. Well, I guess if Freud approves, I made the point and we'll move on.
I didn't give you a counterpoint yet.
Alright, fine. Beat me down even farther. Freud doesn't like it, what else?
No. As I said before, I'm a very big fan of religious studies and like the peyote cactus. Like Native Americans used to.
Isn't it peyote?
It might be peyote. I call it peyote.
Peyote. Peyote.
It's whatever the cactus. They take the juices out of it and crush it and they turn it into a drug form and it makes them see things or whatever. It's a religious thing. You said like if you take it once and you don't like it, there might be a chance that you like have to do it again. What if it's like for the peyote cactus, more of a religious obligation? Like you feel more religiously.
Well, I have problems with the word obligation in and of itself. I don't like drugs for my own purposes. I just think I'm too much of a control freak to have even the prospect of a good trip on anything, regardless of how mild it is. And so, like, I look at Rastafarianism, right, where, like, weed is mandatory. And I'm assuming it's similar with, like, peyote-based religion sects and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's, I believe when you reach adolescence, you have to take it.
The inability to opt out worries me. Underlying medical conditions could cause problems. There's also the risk of, maybe someone gets violent as a result of taking this drug. And they just have to do it repeatedly because of ritual. Like, I don't know how much freedom there is in that sense. I mean, the point is to free your mind, obviously. But, like, I just, oh God, I'm going to get eaten by the far right. How free is too free?
How free is too free? Well, here's the deal. Your argument was about there's a chance that you might take again and all that, and people are stupid. Nate's argument was, oh, you can see the color pink all the time.
Also
Peyote. Peyote.
So I'm going to give Aiden the point because of his...
Okay.
It does come from the heart, but like, if I'm like, I don't want to look at pink, and he's like, dude, you're a virgin. I'm like, I really want a virgin. Like, god damn it, that's not helping your point at all.
What is your favorite color?
It's like a sky blue.
Oh, you cocksucker. Anyway.
All right, I guess Aiden's winning. Anyway, let's pick a better one. Let's do pain relievers, ibuprofen.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because I don't actually take those either.
Interesting, okay. Well, Nate, name some good things about ibuprofen.
So,
You could see the color pink.
Yeah, the Pepto-Bismol is pink.
first, before we even get to the actual drug effects, those pills are fucking dense, man. You know that, like, cartoon sound? Like, if you ever wanted to reenact that, you can. Like,
that was textbook.
you have to. It's like dropping a fucking boulder into your asshole.
You have to do the coke. After you swallow it.
Like, that tactile feeling fucking goes hard. Besides that, I don't like being in pain.
That's it, yeah.
And I haven't taken a painkiller in a while, but a lot of the things we do because we want to avoid pain. Going back to shoes, we wear shoes because we don't want to fucking hurt our feet walking on shit. So like, any way that I can prevent pain, I'll do it. Like, I'll pop a couple pills, I don't care. I pop a lot of pills as is because I'm fucking depresso. Last summer I had a hemorrhoid. And
Okay.
so, for those of you who don't know, it means my asshole was bleeding.
Asshole's sticking out.
My asshole.
And recently it opened back up. My asshole has been bleeding lately.
Oh no!
And that shit hurts.
Why the fuck?
So, yeah, and I mean, I have the means to, like...
Mom, my asshole's bleeding again.
I have the means to relieve the pain. So I have, like, some anal cream. And, like, these circular baby wipes that I use. But
Wow, a first-person testimonial. I don't know if I can count to
So
that.
I do all this so that I can avoid the pain in my asshole. Ibuprofen is just another route to the same result.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, without fucking anesthesia, I think I would have died at the dentist, probably. Like, I don't know how much pain I can take before I just, like, I don't know, I just fucking turn off from shock.
Before I turn off.
Full disclosure, I'm a pussy. Like,
I'm a pussy.
I've lived a very comfortable life. And so...
You're a virgin. Also, I'm a pussy.
so...
Aiden.
Okay, so we're just talking, like, over-the-counters, right?
Like any pain relief in general, yeah.
Okay, I won't say where, but the suburb where I'm from is notorious for, like, pain relief in terms of opioids.
Okay.
I don't know anybody specifically who's died from an overdose, but I have friends who have. And that shit's not the best. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But speaking more about, you mentioned a first testimony, so I guess I'll give mine. I had a tooth pulled at one point. There's evidence of this, given there's a hole in my face. And
Yeah, you guys can see it. Just like, yeah, use your eyes.
yeah, look at a picture of me, you'll see it. Yeah, they gave me Valium. They just gave me a pill of Valium to take before I went in to get that pulled. I took it and I was like, this is fine. You know, like, I don't really feel anything. And I was sitting down. And then when I stood up and tried to take a step, I swear the ground rushed up at me.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I took a step, and you know how, like, if you're walking upstairs and you think there's one more step than there actually is, and you're like, ah! It was the opposite, where, like, the stair came early. And instantly I was like, so what if I was an adult and had to drive to the dentist?
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Beyond that, like, you're talking about ibuprofen.
I mean, there's ibuprofen, there's aspirin, there's a lot of pain relief.
Oh, dude, aspirin is tasty. I'm not addicted.
I'm really fighting an uphill battle here, aren't I? I guess the one thing I'll say is that there's a drug called I think.
Oh, yeah.
That's like for nausea relief, right?
I think it's Xanax, I believe. I don't know if it's...
Isn't Xanax a poopy pill?
Yeah, that's a laxative.
You know, you take it on the plane sometimes. As you guys can tell, I'm an expert at drugs.
I'm amazing at drugs.
You're thinking of X-Lax.
Point being, there's bad blood around that stuff. That's not really an argument. Kind of like, I just don't mess with it, because I'm like, most men in my family don't make it to 60. I'm not gonna risk it.
Oh yeah, personal anecdotes are powerful. Not in terms of data, but in terms of...
Uh-huh.
So team facts and logic or team superstition?
Oh, boy. You know, that's a hard one.
Is it?
The thing about yours, Aiden, is that it kind of hit, like, a point in me.
Oh, don't give me the pity point. Dads die all the time.
No, it's... Well, yeah, I felt sad about your daddy, don't get me wrong. But it was more like when you... I'm not trying to disregard
Oh,
it.
that sucked, believe me. God. Anyway, pushing that shit aside.
Anyway, yeah, you were talking about, like, opioids and stuff, and that, like, hit a hard spot in me. This summer, I actually had to deal with my mom's opioid addiction. She had, like, a really hard one, and I had to convince her to go to, like, a mental hospital. She's better than all that, don't get me wrong. Anyway, Nick gets the point. Yeah, that hit a hard spot in me. I had to think about that, but yeah.
There wasn't a doubt in my mind about that.
Nice.
Absolutely. I had to be the guy that's like, NyQuil is bad and shouldn't be allowed in school.
You shouldn't be soaking
Do you
your
guys
pork
have
chop
that?
in
Like,
NyQuil.
You couldn't fucking have like Dayquil in school?
No.
Really?
Yeah, we couldn't have it.
Why not?
Roast cherries.
I kind of like Dayquil. I'm really in character right now.
I used to have a bottle of NyQuil on my desk that I never touched, and whenever we'd hang out, Nico would huff it.
What the hell?
What's with us huffing things today? Fucking cocaine.
So what's left? Alcohol and weed?
Yeah, how much time do we have? Where are we at?
Well-
51? I mean, let's just talk until we don't want to talk anymore. Let's see.
Whenever someone's in the lead, they'll be like, whoa, long day at work.
Let's do alcohol. Let's do alcohol first. Aiden goes first, and then you.
So I turned 21 a few months ago. I still don't drink. I believe my one experience with alcohol, and this is like a really ancillary story about how much of a pussy I am. My mom like had a can of alcohol, and she's like, "Hey, try this. I want to see if you'll like it." And so I ran my finger on the inside of the can, licked it, and then was like, ew, and threw up in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I got like less than if you were to just like breathe in front of a glass of alcohol, and I was like, yeah. And so
Yeah.
I don't think I'd handle it well. Like there was the Gabriel Iglesias bit where he's like, there's 3 types of drunks. There's the I love you guy, the I hate you guy, and the mirror guy. And the mirror guy goes, hey you, mirror. A lot of people I know are like angry drunks. Like my cousins who we go celebrate holidays with, they have a bar. It's a beautiful bar. It's gorgeous. It's a fun place to be. And I can enjoy partying with my family without taking anything out of my system. You don't need it to be in a social thing, because I know alcohol is a very social drug. You don't really need it to be a part of those situations. Yeah, it's also an inhibitor.
Exactly.
Which is, inhibitions go down. There are some people, when they get drunk, they get fucking obnoxious, dude. So irritating. Prohibition didn't work. I don't know, I thought I was gonna have this one. Yeah, the first episode of this podcast was predicated on me giving an alcoholic beverage to Carter that didn't want to drink.
Yeah, I will say I had that same exact experience with alcohol, except that instead of alcohol, it was mashed potatoes. So
What?
Yeah, it was just like they were like, "Hey, you should try these mashed potatoes," and I just ate it. I was like, "Bleh."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant you had a 2 spoon mashed potatoes. I'm like, woo! Potatoes!
Man, what's in these potatoes, Mom? I really like these.
This gravy got me fucked up!
Dude, alcoholic gravy, God. Oh, man, I wonder if... anyway, you're going to put too much thoughts in my mind. Nay, anyway, what's good about alcohol?
Making instant mashed potatoes with alcohol instead of water. That would be awful.
There's probably people that have done that, like put vodka instead
You
of
can
water.
put alcohol in anything. People batter wings with that shit, right? If it exists, can you put drugs or your penis in it? Those are the questions we ask.
Anyway.
Go ahead, Nathaniel.
Nay, yeah, what's good about alcohol?
So before I get into the crux of my argument, I'd like to say I am not vouching for the taste of alcohol. It should fucking taste like whale cum.
I don't drink alcohol because it tastes good. I just drink it because it makes me feel
It's a means to an end, I guess.
Yeah, that shit is nasty. But anyway, let's talk about social Darwinism. So
Right.
we have evolved past a point where
Let's be on the test.
Yes, it will.
we've evolved past a point where wildlife is generally an issue in modern society. We don't have to think about survival all that often. Of course, we gotta have food and water, but we don't have to be worried about whatever fucking horrifying predators out there stalking us. Like we're past that. It's not your argument, bitch.
I like to make some counterpoints.
Shut up! That's not a counterpoint.
Yeah.
Ew.
Let the man speak. Let the man tell me how to use drugs.
So we have houses, and
God, Nate's drunk. No wonder why he's here.
You managed to corral the floor back for all of 2 seconds.
Let Nate speak. All right.
so
Everybody shut up.
even a pussy like yours truly can survive in this day and age. The real danger that we test ourselves with is not in the environment, but in alcohol.
It's the next frontier.
Yes, alpha males will be like, oh, I have huge pecs and people are gonna want me to pass on my genes. Okay, first of all, no, because this stereotypical alpha male that I just made up as a straw man is a heavy social drinker, because that's what's cool. So let's skip ahead 8 years. He's fucking dead. And you know why he's fucking dead? Because he got wasted and then he thought he could fight the fucking cassowary that's locked up in Jonathan's house. Alcohol will make the stupid do stupid things.
What the fuck are you talking about?
And thus
You lost me like 3 minutes ago.
and thus these toxic people are weeded out and we don't have to fucking deal with them. And the people that are worth hanging around are not stupid enough to get so wasted.
Your argument for alcohol is population control.
So I think it is an obvious.
Oh my god, I got a cramp.
Nate, your argument is that alcohol is bad, therefore we can control the population.
No. Alcohol is good because it kills assholes.
All the angry people that Aiden talked about, they're dead. They're gone.
I would like to say, just in case, if there are any alcoholics watching this, I don't hate you, but I want this point.
You will be the martyr for this point. So what do you think, Carter? Will you let those alcoholics die on Nate's cross? Or will their death be in vain?
Choose very carefully.
Do you want alcoholics to die in vain, Carter? That's what you have to decide.
Alright, cool. Aiden
You gave
gets
us...
Fuck.
You gave us the moral quandary, but it's bounced back at you. So this podcast is the best choice we ever made.
Anyway, this one's gonna be worth 2 points. Weed. But here's the deal. Aiden's gonna talk about the positives, and Nate is gonna talk about the negatives.
God, you can't just do that.
I can just do that because now you gotta think.
Yeah, I guess you can. You are the host. You can just
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that. You ever spun around in a circle for like a minute straight and then tried to change direction and your whole body's like, fuck! It's like that.
Anyway, who went first last time? I totally forgot.
I did.
Cool.
Not Aiden went first.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, Nate, yeah, you go first.
So when you're what?
Sorry, I burped.
Stop.
God,
When you're
okay.
if you're like me, when you're drugging, first and foremost, you want to present yourself as a cool boy. Now, what's not cool? The word wee. That's how a child would describe something.
At this point, I might give it.
Let the man speak.
So basically, weed is like the least cool drug name I've ever heard. Now, cannabis, you can make do with that, but the most widespread term, as far as I'm aware, is weed,
Okay.
and that's not a cool word.
Pot 420.
Yeah, there's
wacky
pot.
tobacco.
That's also very uncool. When those were
Lighting up a
circulating.
fat doink.
Blunt. That was a very unfunny era of internet memeage. Think about how good we have it now.
Sticky icky.
Sticky icky. No, not weed names.
Oh.
Memes.
Not memes. Memes.
Think about how good we have it now. You got,
Yeah?
Didn't I do it for you?
didn't I do it for you?
So your angle is how meme culture has improved since the days of MLG.
Yeah, and like just mentioning it makes me not smile.
Oh, yeah.
Also, it smells not favorable.
Okay.
There is a douche on my floor who smokes weed in the only shower with good water pressure.
You know what?
Asshole.
I should probably give a personal anecdote. So I actually have smoked weed. I only did it once.
Really?
Yeah. And they say that like as the pathway in your brain is used more, like the drug will have more of an effect. So I wasn't like very affected by it. I was mostly normal, maybe a bit more giggly. But I was okay. So I did this with a group project. And
This was the group project.
I will say that was one of the best groups I'd ever been in. But do I think that the weed really spurred anything interesting? Not really. We just kind of laid around. And I mean, I guess it was nice, but it was kind of boring. We watched a documentary, but I think that would have been just as interesting without the weed. That was about hallucinogenics, and Sting was a part of that. It's a documentary on Netflix about...
Was he a user?
Sting had like an encounter with some sort of hallucinogenic cult in the mountains. I don't remember the whole story. It was like really fucking interesting. What I'm saying is we just made them all lay around. Also, I said the word wee, and one of them just broke into a laughing fit, and I was like, all right, I've I've hit rock bottom in my comedy career.
So you're saying like, why do weed when there are other more fun drugs available?
Weed just lowers the bar,
Okay.
and it sucked.
You got more?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, Aiden, talk about some positives about weed.
No. Okay, weed positives. Well, it's being legalized pretty much everywhere. It was just made legal in my home state last year. I would say it's among the least problematic of the bunch, at least as far as like, I would rather have somebody come into work stoned than like wasted or fucked up on shrooms.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's the least life altering. We've kind of neglected to talk about the angle that I feel is the biggest argument for legalizing any drug of any kind is like responsible usage is a thing that exists. For every fucking maniac on whatever their choice of substance is, there's, like 10, 15 that are, responsible, know their limits, take them seriously, and weed's also quite versatile. Like, same way that alcohol kind of was, weed can be made into butter. You can smoke it, and that can be either through a blunt or like a bong or whatever. There's different ways to do it.
The
smoke.
The smoke tube.
The smoke tube.
I will say I have taken it twice. I've taken an edible and I've taken it through a bong.
An Eddie.
Yeah.
Edible fucked me up, I will say.
Because they take like a half hour to do anything, right?
Yeah, like at first I was like, okay, this is fine, and then I'm like, I am so fucking out of it right now. There's good weed and then there's bad weed. The second time that I took it, which was through a bong, I actually had a friend help me out, and they're like, all right, this is how you do it, blah, 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 blah. And I took a puff, and I didn't feel anything after that. It was like Nate's story, like.
So it's a relatively, as far as they go, it's a relatively safe one to just experiment with. Your first dose will never be the worst, if that makes any sense. It's decriminalized. It's not illegal to own it. That's a pretty big point in my favor, I think. I don't know, it's not for me, but I wouldn't judge you. Lip every now and again. Just like, be responsible and, reggae sounds nice.
Man, I love some of that reggae.
Before you dull at the point, I have one question.
Yeah.
When was the last time you laughed at a meme that was like, oh, 420?
I never laughed like that before, so I guess.
Exactly.
I'll give you a fun fact. Weed has not technically killed anybody. I looked at a research document once, and I was like, oh, that's... Excuse me, let me rephrase that. Nobody has died from a weed overdose before.
And I imagine the counterpoint to that would be like, well, it took like 60 years for cigarettes to kill anybody. Again, like, edibles exist.
There's
It
edibles.
doesn't have to go directly into your lungs.
Interesting. Man, I hate choosing one over the other. That sucks.
Think about how bad this makes you feel. I'm going to elicit a very deep memory within you.
We used to scrub windows in high-rise buildings.
It's the air horn.
Yeah, how about
the
you
hit
guys
marker.
fight for it? How about you guys fight for it? But yeah, just fight. Fight.
Your favorite color is blue. What color is... It's green. It's always green.
Green's okay too, though.
Green's okay, but it could be better. You know what drug can be blue? Aspirin. Maybe.
You know what drug can be blue? Fucking Coke if you put paint in it.
Yeah. Why don't you just eat paint instead, you fucking idiot?
Don't have paint.
No, eat it. Drink, fucking guzzle it.
You know, I was talking about argue your point for weed, but I guess Nate wins that one. that was really funny. I was just caught off guard. I was like, favorite color, blue. I was just like, okay, cool. I guess he wins this one.
All right.
That was really.
You know what? Fair's fair. Fair's fair. Nate takes home the gold.
Nate, you win.
I have been elected the winner.
Yeah.
It's not in my position to ask, but Cardi, you want to allow a winner speech?
Yeah. Let's go.
Winner speech.
What's the winner speech?
I need to poop so bad.
You want to just go and shit, and that's your winning shit?
Recommend pop culture real quick. Chicken nugget.
Recommend one. Talk about anything.
What do
You beat Peggle, didn't you?
What do you do?
I talked about Peggle already.
Didn't you say that you wanted to play another game after you beat it?
Yeah, Peggle Knights.
Ooh, okay. Anyway, take a shit.
Peggle 2.
I will recommend a video game. What's a game I like? I gotta think about one that has mass appeal. Okay, this is a PC game.
Nate did just start playing Skyward Sword.
I don't know if I can recommend that. Are you fucking simple like me? Do you just love tactile feedback that makes you feel great? Play Bloons Tower Defense.
Cool.
That's it. I'm pooping.
Bye, Nate.
Okay, see ya.
I should take my phone so I don't get Barbie.
Okay. You have fun shitting, I guess. Thank you.
Let's just say that his nightmare is gonna come true.
Anyway,
Anyway,
the toilet is hella backed up and there's 50 of them.
yeah, there's 50 toilets in my bathroom. Do you have any pop culture thingies? Nuggets?
Yes. It came out a while ago, but the Beatles album Revolver, it was a remaster for 2022. I didn't know about it until recently. I thought I loved that album before. It sounds fucking incredible now. And also the 2020 remix of Let It Be is also really great. Modern Beatles remixes and like mixings you really see how much of a visionary band that is. Like,
Yeah, Beatles is up there.
they're so experimental in every way, at least on their like latter half albums. And that's one of the best arguments for drugs I can think of is that LSD made them write great. So Beatles, I've just been listening to nothing with the Beatles all week. I love them. The 3 albums that people recommend, there's My Answer, there's Your Mom's Answer, and there's The Right Answer. Your Mom's Answer is Sgt. Pepper because she did LSD one time, made her feel special. My answer is Abbey Road because I'm a basic bitch, and the correct answer is Revolver.
Got it. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I've heard of Abbey Road, obviously.
Abbey Road's great.
Yeah. Like I think everybody knows that one.
It's a top 5 album for me. Easy.
Yeah. The other ones, I've heard of Revolver a little bit. The other one I did not hear of before, so probably because I haven't taken LSD.
Yeah, it would help the experience for sure.
Yeah. What have I been? What's been going on in my life? I don't really have my own like hobbies outside of my own head.
Well, when I say, what's the thing that's been keeping you preoccupied since the last episode?
Schoolwork.
Schoolwork?
Too much schoolwork. I've been doing a research paper over false association effect, which basically is like you have these set of words and there is a critical lure, which is like table, and this word list is like wood, couch, armrest, etc., but it never lists the word chair. You get these like word lists and you have to remember like 6 of them, like 6 different critical lures. We falsely associate these words to be in the list, even though they weren't.
So you're saying the word chair is absent from the chair list?
There are 48 questions, 18 of them are like good. These are from the list. 15 that are definitely not. And then there are 6 which are the critical lures, which is like the chair and the sleep. Comparing the 6 and the actual ones on the list, like the average score is the same throughout everybody. So the chance of you getting it correct from the list is the same as you getting it wrong from like the critical lure, if that makes sense.
So you're saying that when asked what was on the list, as many people will say the words that were actually there as this like seed word.
Yeah, that's my ramble. That's my pop culture thing.
Well, I guess that's our show, right?
I guess that's it. I guess
you're the host. You play us off.
Oh, Nate's gone, but he'll be the host next time. I'm hoping that it would be a lot better than us writing words on a piece of paper. Thank you guys for joining us. If you guys came back, I don't know why you did, but if you guys are new here, thanks for joining us. Please come to the next one. Anyway, goodbye everybody. Love you lots. Hugs and kisses.
See ya.
Listening to this episode of Spicy Chicken Sandwich. Now, if you didn't know, the podcast is on a bunch of different platforms, so it would really help us out if you followed us here and over there. Can't say how long it'll be until you'd like another one of these, so until then, have yourself a nutritious dinner, and we'll be back here next week.